Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys? Good morning. Hey, you guys, in just real quick, just let's do a real quick check, not on Instagram, because Instagram, I'm back today. I'm so excited. Okay, so guys, I've had 2 nights of sleep. I mean, this is a big deal. So Rex just dropped a bomb. If you guys are new to the U-Turn Challenge and you've just starting today, put number 1 for first day. If you've been on all the days this week, put number 4 for Thursday. How many days have you been watching on the U-Turn Challenge? I want to see right now. Let's light it up. Okay, so you can play around with this. This is on right now, but okay. The link for that. So wanted to let you know that Rex is going to talk about something that will blow your mind, and they're called sticky statements. Does anybody know what a sticky statement is? Sticky statement. Anybody know what a sticky statement is? Yes, no, maybe so. Do you guys know what a sticky statement is? I literally just messaged Jonathan because I was like, you just rocked my world on sticky statements. Okay, so we're going to get into sticky statements. And the whole theme for today is a theme that we're seeing out there like crazy. And that is, did you know that all your relationships, especially the ones that closest to you, affect your money flow? Are you guys aware of that? So we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about landing communication. And we're going to put you in a position where today something moves. Who's ready for a shift? Put me. Who's ready for a shift? Put me in the comment section right now if you're ready for a shift.
Let's go.
Okay, so awesome. Okay, so being ready for a shift means that you put yourself in a position that you expect it. So Rex and I were talking about, has anybody noticed there's a lag out there right now? And I want to just double check. Did some people get a text message or an email that we're starting live right now? Yes, no? Just let me know real quick. Just yes, no? Just go yes or no and let me know. Did you get emails, text messages, just for people who are connected? There's some no's, some yeses. Interesting. Okay, so Jonathan, FYI, we're getting messages that there's a challenge to get into VIP as well for Inner Circle. So something was happening with the message. So just go look into it. Check with Suzanne. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, so do you notice there is a lag out there right now? Lag. Anybody notice this? Is there a lag out there? You guys want to put this here so that we don't have my Instagram all over the place right now? Cool. There's a lag out there. And here's what I was talking with Rex, and he said, and it just kind of, one of those mic drops where everything comes together for you. I had one of those this morning. One on sticky statements, which we're going to talk about. But the second one was on, how did you say it? Just come up here. How did you say it? You said, and by the way, I'm going to give out money for good comments. I want to see the comments crush it today. Like, I want to see your guys' comments crush it. If you put on there, it'll block them.
Oh, great.
And so Suzanne and Faith and Sam, like, literally give out money today for good comments, like people who are having a mic drop moment. Okay, so we were talking about how there's this lag out there right now. And we were saying that, don't worry about it, this is going to go in and out.
Wonderful.
And so the lag, I said that I'm noticing this lack of urgency, and you gave me a mic drop moment because you explained what that meant. Explain that for a second.
I think where we were talking about was people lack the resolve. They're very, very skeptical right now, and they're skeptical against themselves and what is available to them and what they have to offer, and they're going to be able to really connect with an audience. And so we talked about when people lack resolve, they try, they dabble with things, they flirt with things. And you said, well, what does that mean to you? What does resolve mean to you?
Who doesn't? Because so Rex sits in rooms. You know how proximity is a big deal?
Yeah.
I said to him, you're just really smart. And he kind of looked at me like, I don't really have it wired like that. And I'm like, no, you sit in rooms with people and don't realize the education that you get, both from God and the people that you hang out with, is a lot more, it's a lot higher level education than most people will ever get, even in a mastermind. Do you guys get that? So I said, what does the word resolve really mean?
I think to me, what it meant to was it's a commitment and to an outcome, to an absolute committed outcome to where I'm going to end up, not where I currently are. I think the path to that is being flexible and adaptable. You're committed to an outcome, but you're flexible in the approach. People that do big things are not caught in the weeds of the immediate, constantly reacting to what is emergencies in their life. There's no way you can live out of a state of emergency and execute at a high level to where you're getting great ROI, great ROE. So if you look at most people's metrics in business and life, they are not connecting with the things that are going to bring them the most value, the most reward.
So so you said people are making decisions from where they are right now, not where they're going.
The immediate.
Right. And I was like, when you have one of those moments where I was like, actually, that's what I do. Like I make commitments from where I'm going, my destination, I call it a commitment, not where I'm at right now. So I don't actually check with my bank account on what I can or can't do. And I know that sounds like a good idea, but listen to this, because this could be an aha moment that gets you cash today because you comment something that blows your mind if you get this. And you might not get this because maybe this isn't your nugget. But I thought to myself, if I want to buy a house, I don't sit there and go, okay, let me go look at the house and like think someday. What I do is I go, how can I get that house? Okay, so if I had bad credit, which I don't, I have somebody fix my credit. But if I had bad credit, I would say, can I use Rex's credit? Well, most people say, well, Rex will never give me his credit. Maybe not. Maybe he wouldn't, because you've done things in the past that would have him not trust you, right? Somebody asked me to front the money today. And I said, I won't front you money, but if you want to make a deal with me, create a certain amount of income. So in other words, if you sell this, so here's what I got the idea, because one of our clients did this years ago. They sold at one of our big events, our zone event, which by the way is going to be August in Orlando.
Awesome.
Best event you'll ever see. The theme is going to be open for business. When everybody's closing, we're going to be moving companies up this summer on open for business. So one of our clients worked with us, and they actually, because we always make an offer. It's not cool to not make an offer, because how many of you guys would love to work with Rex right now? Put Rex. How many of you guys would love to work with Rex right now? Put Rex. Okay, so see, the comments are lighting up, right? So it's a blessing to give an offer, right? So we make an offer at Zone Event. So one of our clients was working at the event, and she had a vision. So if I have a vision to buy a house, what do you guys have a vision for right now in your life? What do you want really badly? Something that maybe it's for you, maybe it's for somebody else. What do you want really badly? Put in the comment section, right? Put in the comment, cash.
Land, children's family. Look at all those.
Yeah, so good. Blow it up, like throw it out there, blow it up, right? I want to see what you want. So now there's a gap to get there. So my client works for us. Say that she made $20,000 in commissions in 2 days. So you hang around people who know how to make money, you make money, right?
Proximity is power.
Proximity is power. Being in the network makes a big difference. So she makes $20,000 in a couple of days of commission. She says, Shanda, I have a vision to be in your high level coaching program. And she said, would you front me, not 20,000 that you owe me now, because she worked this event. She goes, I will give up 50% of that cash if you give me 10,000 right now. And then out of that 10,000, I'm going to give it back to you to coach me. And you know what's ironic is I never get cash at the event. I got $12,000 at the event, cash that my team gave me in an envelope, and I never get cash. And so I was like, that. And so I call her back. I can't get a hold of her. And we were going to Hawaii right after that event. Some of you guys are tired when you just put out some effort and you're disappointed that you didn't get your results. When you're on fire for the mission, you don't get tired. I led a 3-day event. I got on a plane the next day, went to Hawaii, led a mastermind. I got on a plane, I came back, and I had a party. Like I had a party set up at my house. And so, and I was tired after the party. I was like, okay, like I'm good now, right? But so like, I'm not saying like that, but I'm saying, yeah, like when it's a privilege to work, you show up differently. So I couldn't get a hold of her, and I said, I bet you that crazy girl is on a plane to Hawaii right now because she's expecting me. She's making decisions for where she wants to go, not from where she is right now. She's expecting me to say yes. And her message was, she was on a plane to Hawaii. She goes, I was planning on camping with my kids on the beach if you said no. And I was going to have an experience with it and just go to the mastermind as an average client, not as a private client. Of course, there's nothing I wouldn't do for that person, because she shows that she makes decisions from where she's going, not where she wants to be. Did anybody just get an aha moment right there? Think about, he said this to me before we went on live. I was like, oh my gosh, sometimes you do things you don't know why you do them or how you do them. Okay, so let's get into it.
I
So
love
you
one thing
guys
I want
are
to say real quick. You asked a better question, and I think this is for every one of us. It's your psychology, not where you currently are, not your biography, not your history, that determines the quality of your life. And I believe the scripture says, whatever you ask, you receive. You ask better questions. And if you get around people in that proximity that think differently, and they think differently because they ask better questions. How can I use this? How can I find a way? How can I make this happen versus can I make this happen versus how can I make this happen? How can I serve them more? You come from that place, and what you look for is usually what you find, right? Whatever you focus on, you begin to pick up so much more. If you go and start looking for a certain kind of car, you start to see them everywhere on the freeway, different places, everything that was there all along, but now you begin to notice it. And I think once someone sets their intention of where they're going to end up, it's a commitment, not a wish, not I'd like, not I hope so. It's a decision. I know in our world, we're afraid to make decisions because we're afraid of being disappointed. Even the Bible says disappointment can leave your heart sick. Don't stay sick and don't give your pain power over you. If you're not careful, your pain will become a house where poverty will live. Let me say that again. Don't let that happen, but make decisions where you're going to end up. And when you get out of this challenge over the next couple of days, here's where I'm going to end up in my relationships. Here's where I'm going to end up in my business this year. Here's where I'm going to end up. And I got news for you. If you're any bit of a faith person, God will do more than you ask or decide where you're going to go. But you got to decide where you're going to go and how you're going to end up and how you're going to show up. And so I think by asking yourself a better question, how can I use this? How can I master this moment? How can I make the most of it? How can I use what's in my hand to create something in my future, not be paralyzed by what I don't have, who I don't know, but coming into a connection with people. Proximity is power.
everything.
The conversation's different. It deepens you, it ripens you, and it expands your field of vision. I flunked out of college.
Yeah, I
flunked
did
out of-
too.
And high school.
Woo!
My grandmother.
Who am I bad? Who am I people that flunked out of college? Just let us know.
They told me I was not capable of communicating and speaking because I was not serious enough. But those same people now pay me lots of money to come and be a part. And so I look at that going, it's easy to start talking yourself out of because of your lack of experience. You've never gone somewhere before, but I did something. What you did. I positioned myself around other people who knew things I did not know. And there's a power, there's a Hebrew term called mashak, the rubbing off of. You get around people that have health in their bodies. Our friend Mark McDonald, who has that great PF3 movement. You want to start all of a sudden having health in your body. You get around people that are doing well financially, know how to stack events. I want to do that. One of your clients, Jen Hurd, she has a real powerful business on an app coming up that's about to launch. Love Bigger. You want to get around, she got around Shanda, she started thinking bigger. How can I make this happen globally? People change in that environment.
Good. Okay, so how many of you guys have somebody in your life that literally you feel like holds you back? I know this is a tough thing to say, but like maybe this isn't a relationship. I know it's how you got it wired. Like, you know, maybe Tom, you want to build really fast and you're like, your experience of your wife is she's a little bit slower, right? And so that can cause, that's okay.
He's a boss. He's a boss.
They say it online, right? So it's like they have a different way, a different tempo. Who's with somebody in your life, you have a different tempo. It could be a business partner, it could be a lover, right? It could be your spouse, whoever that is. Somebody tell me, okay, yes, we are seeing this all over the place. How many of you guys are single? Put single in the comment section. You're single and you wish you had somebody in your life.
Ready to mingle.
Right, single, ready to mingle. Right? How many guys? Okay, so like, let us know if you're single. Okay, so if you're single, you have an opportunity in your life where you don't have to check with other people to make things happen. But if you, so grab and harness the opportunity of less to get more. Okay, so this is not a bad thing that you're single. Okay, now if you are in a relationship, you know, the leadership gets a little bit more complicated. You got to think about them. You gotta be honorable with them. And when you battle with them, it tethers you. So I remember I used to feel like I was too young to be a success. And then what happens is you start to feel, what do you think happens after I'm too young? Same spirit. It's the same spirit that tells you, then you're too old, right? And it's just a way that we hide out. So I'm gonna write this on the board really quickly. Some of you guys already know this from our leadership program. Don't disappear too far. Okay, so there are controllers. There's supporters. There are promoters. Is it ER? Promoters. ER? Yes. Hello, guys. Listen. Promoters. PROMOTER.
Yes.
Promoters and analyzers. ANALY.
Ly.
No. See, I'm not the only one who can't spell. I just got the wrong.
ZER. ZER.
ANA.
LYZER.
There we go. Okay, so you don't have to be able to spell. I'm slightly dyslexic, and it used to be something that held me back because I felt like I was stupid or not capable or all of that. Are you willing to look stupid? Are you willing to ask questions? Are you willing to be vulnerable? Are you willing to have people judge you? If you're willing to have that happen, you're going to rock it. The minute that you can't do that, the minute I'm afraid to write on a board that would help you ground your thoughts on this, the minute I'm afraid to do that because I don't want to look bad is the minute that I stop serving you and I start serving me. Okay, when that moment happens, there's a break in financial gain. There's a break in influence. There's a break in authority. If you didn't watch yesterday's training, I really recommend you watch it because it was around this concept of authority. If you don't know your identity, you don't have authority. If you don't have authority, you have no power. That's why people don't listen to certain people. They don't listen to them because they've killed their identity with other people, which then killed their authority. You can reclaim your identity by forgiveness right now. Right now. You say, you know what, husband, wife, I am sorry. I am forgiving myself. You might not forgive me yet, but I am forgiving myself. You walk from that moment forward, changes your authority, period. Somebody need to hear that right now. Who got a mic drop? Put mic drop. Right? So you need to hear that because there is no battle if there's not two. So the minute you can forgive yourself for everything, yes, I have said wrong things to people. I have done wrong. There is nobody. I mean, I am getting messages from people and looking at people in the Facebook group. There is a woman that the guy she was dating put fentanyl in her coffee and it almost killed her. And now her daughter is living with a family member that there's drugs involved. And she saw her for the first time after years yesterday because of yesterday's training. She got off her you-know-what and went and got herself a job. Right? She's living on somebody else's couch. She went and got herself a job. These are the moments that happen. Like your authority can shift in a second when you get around the wrong people, when you get around the right people, which is why yesterday we offered Flip the Switch, where you could work with Rex for an entire year for $2,300, or I would sponsor it for you where you could actually pay $500 a month and I would front load him your investment and you pay me back and I would invest for you. So if there's anybody who jumped into flipwithrex.com yesterday, put Rex in the comment section. If you didn't, you want to check it out, you can go to flipwithrex.com. And I'd recommend you go check that out, okay? Because when you're in proximity, imagine that woman, I don't know how long she lived on somebody else's couch, but that's the power of having people believe in you around you. She just went and she got herself a job. She went and saw her daughter. You know, there's healing that needs to happen there, but she has a vision of getting her daughter out of that house and into a house with them. So who else has had a complete shift in the last few days of listening to this training? Who else had a complete shift? Right? That's powerful. So what was the shift? Share it. What's happened? Okay, so today my intention is you have a shift in relationship, you have a shift in finances, because money touches everything you love. My son did something yesterday. He enrolled me to go get a bunch of candy for a video. If you watch my Instagram page, you'll see it. And he did something that a lot of people would have judged him for. And he grabbed his candy after we came out the store. Can I have a parent moment for a second? He said, Mom, you're the best mom in the world. You're kind of cool. I never thought that you would actually get me all this candy. Then I knew I totally got smooshed, right? So, because by the way, the bag of candy is gone today. There's one bag of chips left, okay? That was supposed to be for a YouTube video because he's building a YouTube page. But he took the bag and he's in the parking lot and his sweet 7-year-old self goes, I'm gonna make some money! And he screams it in the parking lot. My first thought was, oh my gosh, if your cousins hear this, or your grandparents hear this, or your auntie hears this, they're going to judge him. I'm not saying they would. I'm saying that was the mama bear in me thinking, oh my gosh, people have so much stuff around money. They're going to judge him. And then about 30 minutes later, he said, when I make my money, I think that our family needs to travel around the whole world and give $100 to every homeless person. And he goes, I think that we could spread a little bit more joy. And then 2 minutes after that, he said, but you know, Mom, money doesn't make people happy. And I'm like, all these conflicting things coming in. Do you know who says that money doesn't make people happy? Really broke people or middle-class people that haven't gone all in when they could be all in and they could shift everything right now. So no, money doesn't make you happy. It's a magnifier. So if you're already happy, it does increase the volume of that. If you are not happy, it also increases the greed, the anger, the addiction. It's a magnifier. Right? So who are my good people out there that are happy? Put happy in the comment section. Who are my people who are happy? Put happy in the comment section. Okay. So if you're happy, then I need to get a bunch of money in your pocket, okay? In your bank accounts. And we need to overflow it because you will actually spread that joy. So my son was actually correct on that, which is powerful. Okay. Controller, supporter, promoter, analyzer. I'm going to bring Rex in 2 seconds. What are you? Controllers, let me explain this. You already know if you're a controller. You kind of, when you're not in your leadership, you bulldoze people. So basically you have a mentality that I just need to get it done because if I don't get it done, he or she or they won't do it. Okay, that's a controller. So when you're out of control, you lose your patience and you bulldoze. It's actually where you lose authority as well. Even though you can control people into submitting, you actually lose authority in that moment. Controllers are almost always right. And the only reason why is because they actually see the close. So every dream has a close. You get what I'm saying? If you're a pastor or you watch an evangelist preacher, they close to Jesus 7 times in a good talk. Okay, like it's a close, whether it's nonprofit, whether it's preaching, whether it's selling courses, whatever it is, you got to learn how to flex your controller. Everybody, this idea that that's not who you are is what the world taught you. That's untrue. We have a training called Style Flex Selling, and it teaches you how to go in between all of this. Who would love that training? I don't have it set up to give that to you, but put style if you'd love access to that training. Okay, use your voice. So controllers are amazing. You can almost always trust that they've made the right decision, even if they've lost authority with you because they've bulldozed you. Okay, they have an ability to close. They see it. Okay, it's a strength they got. Supporters are actually more controllers than controllers. So when you upset them because they've given and given and given and given and given, and they have supported you and they have supported you even when they haven't agreed with you, they've got on your team, they're actually a very strength. It's what Elena Cardone, she talks about what I realized as a supporter, that she was the empire behind the man. You get what I'm saying? Like she realized that she's like, I'm not the wuss here. I can actually give up my desire to be an actress because I have nothing to prove here. I already have the right team. How many of you guys right now know that you're in a relationship that you actually probably do have the right team if you knew how to get on the same page? If you were honest about it, if you gave up all the trauma, gave up all the righteousness, and you just gave all that up, and you're like, truthfully, I actually probably do have the right team, but there's been some stuff that's happened, whether it's a business partner or a relationship, right? So if you're a supporter, know that you are actually stronger than the controller. You're the backbone. And if somebody crosses you, you will dig your feet in and they can't move you until you're ready to move. It is right? Now, what makes a supporter great is they listen. So if a controller listens to a supporter, they'll actually be able to figure out their decision-making better if they don't fight them or look at them as a doormat. A supporter that's out of their power is a doormat. They're just a victim. Right? And they use that space to just not show up. It's basically a complacent lag laziness. And you got to pull it back up. Okay? Promoter. This is what a promoter looks like. I'm ready to go. Right? That's a promoter. A promoter is like the life of the party, loves to show up, loves to give, loves to hook everybody up, loves to make people happy. Now, a promoter gets very, very triggered when an analyzer starts to think a lot. When an analyzer starts like, I gotta get in my head, I gotta figure it out, the promoter's like, you're so negative, I can't handle it. Why are you always skeptical and negative? Who are my promoters out there? Put a P in the comment section. Who are my promoters? Listen, you need the analyzers, because here's what the promoters do. They don't finish what they start. See, this is why you cannot listen to what other mentors or coaches or people in your life maybe have labeled you as, oh, you're controlling and you give so much advice. Oh my gosh, you're such a doormat. You need to show up for yourself. Okay, I don't trust you. You're always all over the place and you're flipping around. You're always, you're not grounded, right? Like you cannot allow that to be your thing, because you can actually, it's like going to the gym. Very quickly, when your mind conceives these different roles, you can flex into them. Okay, the Olympic teams use visualization for a reason. You can flex into these things. So promoters, if you're out of your power, you won't follow through, but that doesn't mean you are a person that doesn't follow through. It just means you've lived in the style of promoter because you're so comfortable in it and you love that way that feels. But when you get respect, ladies, for your man, when you get respect for the different quadrants, you start to realize how to lead them differently. You're not a victim to them. You need to know how to lead them and understand them. So promoters, we've explained to you, analyzer. My husband is an analyzer. You analyzers are the best salespeople out there. Controllers think they are, but they're not. It's actually the analyzer. And the reason why the analyzer is so good is they follow up and follow through. And 90% of financial gain is in the follow-up. It's not in the initial offer. So where the controller or the promoter, maybe even the supporter, but the controller promoter has the courage to just make the offer. I'm just going to try it. I'm just going to get out from underneath myself. I'm just going to go, right? The controller promoter has that. But the problem is when they get rejected or they feel like it didn't work out or nobody showed up to that event or that webinar, this is a waste of my time. Nobody showed up, right? And so that's the problem, right? The promoter doesn't finish. The controller becomes a bully, right? They got to be right. And so they just make that, they make themselves right, but that didn't work. But the analyzer goes, no, like this and this and this worked, but this and this didn't. The controller and the promoter don't like to talk about what didn't work because it's too deep for them. Right? But it's not really too deep for them. They just don't respect. See, when a controller especially notices how powerful an analyzer is or flexing into that, they'll put the attention in, because a controller, promoter, and supporter will all do analytical work if they think it's worth it. And so they just haven't spent the time to really go, how does that serve the mission, the goal, the target? You guys, is anybody learning anything right now? Yes or no?
Okay.
Yes or no? Okay. So you've got to find respect for all these pieces. And I really recommend for homework tonight that you write out the people that are closest in your life and know who are they, and ask, I know this sounds kind of weird, but just for the sake of language right now, how can you use them and their skills to be able to create a bigger movement in the world? Right? So I know with my husband, you might use the word roles, right? But I know with my husband, it is better. I can get more done if I throw the deal his way. But I might negotiate the deal better because I'm going to hang out in more possibility where he's going to hang out in more of the weeds. So I need my husband to wrap things up because he loves that. He loves to be in the weeds. When we closed on this house, he went back and got more cash at closing. That's my husband. That would never happen with me. Right? It would never happen with me, but with him, it would. Get what I'm saying? So I will tell you, when I first started doing work on myself with the Lord, with leadership, I hung out in promoter controller all the time. I thought supporter style was very weak. Why would you think that? Because I was a controller, right? So I didn't get the value until I realized supporting is something that my promoter loves. Because I want to help, I want to love, I want to serve. So when I started to drop into supporter, I stopped being the person that did all the talking. And now I could learn. Do you know how much money I left on the table because I was not vulnerable enough to learn? I never learned how to create a real estate contract because that would require me to become a supporter. And I didn't want to sit back because it was too vulnerable or too unsafe for me to become that person. Because when I was a little girl, my mom's boyfriend used to beat me. And so I learned how to not live in listening, not live in intimacy, which is where supporters live in. I learned how to stay out of that, because if I got too close, somebody would hurt me. Something would not come together. Who's following me right now? Do you hear what I'm saying? So now I can't live in that story. And Rex, I'm going to bring you back up here to pull off of this, right? I can't live in that story because it doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve me creating more products and programs for you. I know how to make you money. And I'm really good at it. Currently, last quarter, 72% of our Mentor Me Live students, that's our business program, actually got their quarterly results. 72%. Okay, I will tell you that I don't actually know any business programs out there, and I know the best of the best, and I'm not competing against them. Everybody has different metrics that says I'm successful, right? You have a different metric in your head on what makes you successful. What makes us successful at Hardcore Business is our clients' results. So I will take less clients to get higher results because it takes a lot more bandwidth. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? And so that's a metric in my head. So I don't know anybody else who tracks their clients like that on actual quarterly results. We do. It's understanding this, connecting it with a spiritual attachment to the Lord. Like Jesus was an amazing leader. You might not like that word, but I don't mind if you talk about anything you want to talk about. I'm Christian. I also have helped psychics grow coaching programs. I believe that we can't support each other if we lose authority with each other. And so I'd rather all be in the same room and help each other get ahead. And if you want to make money, I'm the girl that can show you how to do that. And I'm very, very effective at it. What do you do? Right? What do you do? What is your thing? So I want you as homework to look at the people that are closest in your life. Realize when they're out of control or out of their power. Controllers are bullies, supporters are doormats, promoters are high with no follow through, and analyzers feel like they're skeptical. But if you flip that and went, what's the value of somebody to analyze the deal or the decision, right? What's the power of getting your energy up at certain times in the day, or while you're working on something, or while you're solving a problem? What's the power of having somebody listen to your idea and give you feedback? What's the power of making a decision? Give a controller 2 decisions, they'll make the best one. And just trust it, have faith, right? So now I'm going to pull Rex back. I'm going to ask you tonight to journal on that. Build your team around you so that you 100% have your team amplify, whether that's your spouse or your best friend or a business partner. Today is about amplifying. Today's about amplifying, and you have the power to do that. All right, Rex Crane, pop back in here. Okay, so now as we go from here, and
such a great teaching.
It's powerful, right?
Powerful insight. Yes, absolutely.
So go in the comment section right now and tell me, what did you hear from that? What landed for you on that? What landed for you on that? Come on, guys. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now I want you to pop into this right now. I want you to talk about sticky statements.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to step out right this second. He's going to talk about sticky statements.
Hey, give it up for Shanda, huh? Throw some love to Shanda in the chat. A true financial deliverer. I love that because it doesn't, a financial deliverer, you know what they do really, really powerful before I get into this, is they don't really allow you just to sit in your feelings. They allow you to activate your faith and your financial faith. And they let you become so much more aware of the opportunity and what you have on your hand to create something in your future. And don't talk too much about your past or where you've been. They anchor you to where you are and where you're about to go. So I love doing this with you. You're so awesome and effective.
So good. Well,
awesome.
I love what you're about to teach.
Let's go.
This is, again, one of those moments of proximity. I get to hang out with Rex all the time, and I call him when I'm stuck. Do you guys get that? And so who you call matters. Do you guys understand that? Who you call matters, and who you
and
ship.
who picks up.
Exactly, and who picks up. But he said, he was talking about a presentation he just did the other day, and he was helping an organization. I'll let you get into that. But he said sticky statements. He goes, that's kind of like your hook, Shanda. But he laid it out, and I wrote my notes over there, and I thought, oh my gosh, like this is the thing that you need to teach these people because nobody on the planet is teaching it. Imagine if you got it like this, where people listened.
Absolutely.
Go for it.
Welcome, everybody. Hope you're having an amazing day. U-turn. Come on, day 4. Some of you have really had some incredible breakthroughs and you're growing and you're alive. You're making progress. You're not just taking the notes. You're not just watching. So many of you are commenting. You're doing the homework. There's so many people doing the homework and you're getting results. People are making money the last couple of days. People are finding freedom internally and externally. Today is going to be a real, this is going to be a catalyst for you, especially if you have a business, you have an idea as an entrepreneur, you want to get off the ground. And I was in a conversation recently with my friend Paula Abdul, and we were sitting at her table and we were sitting there talking. There was a rapper there and we were in a really deep conversation for about 2.5 hours. And during the conversation, she brought me into this really incredible thing. She said, let me take you to when I was really young and Michael Jackson came to me in his big old afro. He'd had so much success as a kid in one era with the Jackson 5. And now he was becoming Michael Jackson in a brand new dimension, a whole another side where he was about to bring out 12 years of work where he was working on the moonwalk. Think about that. For 12 years, he actually used to carry a board with him and he used to work on that to become skilled at doing that. So when he brought it out, he wasn't trying to be good. He knew that he wanted to capture the attention of his audience with something kind of special. And she said, you know, what was interesting was he had great ideas, but he was looking for a way to connect with the audience. But he was moving so fast in the things that he knew that he didn't know how to capture at this new stage, a brand new audience. So he actually brought Paula in. Paula said, I began to work with him on a couple skills where he just wouldn't communicate, but he would connect and capture his audience. I was at Michael's funeral some years back, and I can tell you there's billions of people around the world, billions, that were captivated, myself included, and things he did with the Billie Jean, Thriller, all of that. But it came with some deliberate intention that I just don't want to communicate to my audience, communicate to my customers, communicate to the people in my life. And we'll talk both business and intimate, okay? We'll go both ways real quick in this little presentation here. But he says, I wanted to connect. And let me say this. Everybody communicates, but I find that very few connect. And connection is currency. Connection is resource. Connection is opportunity that you actually take advantage of. And I want to help you for a minute land your communication. And let's go first to the business element because it affects everything, right? If you feel like, man, I'm really struggling, then you're going to struggle most likely in relationships, every other area, because usually what you feel the most, you kind of just put out and it's contagious everywhere. But I want to help you land your conversation to build your communication here so you're able to connect with your audience, whether that is doing a day event, whether that's stacking and doing 3-day events, whether that's in a conversation with one person, one-on-one over coffee, or whether that's in a communication with a small group or a large audience. I believe that there's tools and some skills here that will allow you to become more valuable to the people that you relate to, the people that you help, the people you want to serve, the people you want to bring healing to, education to, strength to, that will allow you to go to the next level. And I call them delivery dynamics. You might want to write that down. Delivery dynamics. I like that element. And it's real simple. There's going to be 3 points to it. And if you ever have to give presentations, it's very smart. People think in 1, 2, 3s and ABCs. If you have 7 steps to finding joy from depression, people will not remember anything past 2. So you've wasted so much of your freaking time. Be concise, be potent. Come on, don't have a wide target, have a strong target. So you set out with intention what you want to deliver to your people. This is going to help you for a minute. I was just brought into a company, a $1 billion company, and we were working with a couple of the different people in there, be able to communicate precisely what they wanted to deliver. So I thought delivery dynamics makes sense. Number 1, they got to be able to define. So write that word, just write define. Define, and I'm going to give you a couple of bullet points that are going to help you. Define the people that are coming to you, your customers, your clients, people you're in relationship with, and you want to connect with. You want to not just connect with, you don't want to just communicate with, you want to connect with, and you want to converge with. Come on. Connection always leads to convergence. And I do want to say this for a minute, that communication is so much more than just words. In fact, words are only 7% of all communication. Tone is about 37, 38%, depending on who you talk to. And then 59%, excuse me, is the way you hold your face, the way you hold your body. Come on, how many know that the way you carry yourself and walk in determines a lot about how people are going to respond to you? If they feel like, man, they got something to say, if they're confident, if they're weak. I encourage somebody, I think this was out like in a Grant Cardone post, because you just spoke with him, Shanda, that they were saying like if you did like 2 minutes in a Superman pose, you actually increase testosterone by 24% and you reduce cortisol by 28%, which is stress hormone that makes you freaked out. A lot of you could break performance anxiety just by putting your shoulders back, take a deep freaking breath, use all 82 muscles in your face, and just smile when you walk into a place. First of all, people are going to think you're a little bit odd, but you'll shock people because most people today are so freaking moody in what's happening around them in social media that they don't have any energy to them. They don't have any life. And the way you walk in determines the expectation for what's about to happen. Let's go here for a minute. Delivery dynamics. Number one, I got to define. Number one, what I want my audience to see. Write that down. Write that in the chat. I want them to see. Why? 89% of all that's learned, discovered, and acted upon is visual. If I don't have something for how I want them to see, how I want to communicate, so they show them a picture. Right off the bat, when I got on here today, what did I do? I gave you a picture taking somebody you know from American Idol, from Paula Abdul, sold 68 million records in her life. I gave you a picture immediately to locate you, to bring you in. I brought you in through giving you a picture. What do I want my audience to see? Second, what do I want them to know? And I say that because, let me actually go back to the first one. What do I want people to see? I say that is people don't catch vision, vision catches people. People don't catch your vision, the vision catches people. Well, how do you do that? You have to cast the vision in a way that what you have to offer, your service, your product, your intellectual property, how it will enrich, how it will enlarge, how it will empower their life, make it easier. Because how many know business is all about solving problems, making life better, faster, easier, more kind, more loving, and more joyful. How many know that's true? If you solve one of those problems, I want to be able to give them a vision of that will improve their life. People don't care about your product. They don't care about your service. That's why best product, best service, it does not win. They fall in love with, come on, a connection emotionally where they say, hey, this will improve my life. I identify it. Realize everybody that does not buy with you, does not want to join your business, does not want to work with you, it's because they associate not enough pleasure, enjoyment with doing business with you or buying from you, or they don't have enough visuals yet or understanding of how it will better their life. So you're making a promise right off the bat. And when you begin to cast vision, something happens. It ignites inside of people. We did that the very first day on here. And look what happened. People began to write in. They began to communicate. People are already making money on that vision, because how many know provision follows vision? Did you catch that for a minute? Provision follows vision. That can be translated into business. Okay. What do I want them to see? Number two, what do I want them to know? And this becomes more logistical. How will this improve it? It's not just what it will do, but how it will do that. And I say that because you have not just emotional buyers, you have logical buyers. People that want their questions answered. And this is going to take you for a minute to do a little bit of research. What are the 2 or 3 things that I want to show them? And this, by purchasing, by doing business with me, by engaging with me, this is going to allow them to scale, to skill, to have more, to experience more, to enjoy more, to give more, to feel more alive. But this is a logistical. You have a lot of logical buyers, and a lot of the emotional people will try to come at you with passion. Passion's an entryway, but if you don't have anything logistically to give understanding to, a lot of people will walk away. Number 3, what do I want them to believe? What do I want them to believe? What do I want them to believe about me? What do I want them to believe about what I have to offer them? And number 4, what do I want them to do now? This is very, very important, because most of our audiences have an attention span of 8 seconds, 8.2 seconds is the average American adult, come on, attention span, actually it's globally, at 8 to 20 minutes. And most of our, and a goldfish, yes, a goldfish attention span is actually larger than a human. They actually last 9.8 seconds. Come on, adults, they last 8.2. And I say that because most of our communication, we go on too long and they tap out. And the reality is, how do I re-engage them when they are tapping out? How do I engage them? Is if my audience is tapping out, where are they tapping out? And what is my tactic to re-engage them? And I use that because here's a way that I think that will help you. I use that in a form, I was gonna get the sticky statements at the end, but I'll use a little bit of it right now. I use that in a way of having a jolt like, hey, I'll use a tagline, a hook. You're not what you feel, you're what you decide. Or don't lose your present to your past.
Write this down.
Don't lose your present to your past. Or I might say something like, God's not auditioning other people for your role. If you don't act now, what will it cost you? I ask emotionally charged question because it injects and interrupts the noise in people's minds and brains and re-engages them into a place of focus where I have influence. So this is the defining part of the delivery dynamic. Number 2, develop your craft. That takes something. Take a day each week and think about content. Create content one day. People think you just get up on a stage and it happens. No, it doesn't. You got to work your land, do your research. People don't know this about us, I think, and I learned this about you after being in a relationship for about a year with you. You're a worker in the middle of the night. You're studying statistics, developing. And somebody asked me, like, Rex, how much do you put into like a speech? When I go deliver a speech and there's 8,000 people, I usually put in about 17 to 20 hours into every speech. I have so much more content. And the reason I do, even at this stage, after 25 years, because I don't want to go up there empty-handed. I want to be resourceful enough and have developed myself enough to where we over-deliver for people. But have a research day and then have an execution day.
So good.
An execution day where you schedule it. If it doesn't get scheduled, it won't get done. If it doesn't get scheduled, it won't get done. If it doesn't get scheduled, it won't get done. Come on, your habit, this has got to be a habit. I got a creation day and I have a delivery day. I have an execution day. And finally, I get to be able to have a place to where I deliver it. And how do I deliver it? You deliver it with passion. You deliver it with purpose. But I also think about for a minute, I want to deliver it with a sticky statement. And I used that. I was speaking for Meta not too long ago. I had Facebook, Instagram. I had the execs from Mark Zuckerberg in a room, sitting in a mansion. And we were sitting there. And the guy who spoke before me was a venture capitalist. He was very boring. He was very depressing. And he put people into a spirit, if you will, an attitude of complete self-pity, depression. It was a horrible atmosphere. I was standing in the kitchen of this massive mansion. All these massive execs were there. And I could just feel this bad feeling. So I went up and started speaking, and about 2 minutes in, I said this very statement. I go, God's not auditioning other people for your role, so stop letting blind people proofread your vision. I said a sticky statement and it stuck.
Okay, so give us a couple sticky statements because I think it'd be really powerful.
Your future's not in how you feel, but how you act.
Write it down. Write it down. Say it again.
Your future's not in how you feel, it's how you act. Another one is what you misdiagnose, you mistreat. What you don't value, you violate. I use those questions, or even a question in business. Where are your competitors edging you out? What stands in the way of your people getting, your clients and customers getting what they need from you? What stands in the way? Come on, you could go from stuck to strategy real quick. But by using that kind of a vehicle, a sticky statement, I had a woman stand up in the middle of that audience. A bad spirit, bad attitude in that room. This woman stood up and goes, that's what we need, people. That's the kind of spirit we need in here. I don't know what that other spirit was, but we need that kind of attitude in here. We need a thing where things can happen, change can happen, all because it was a sticky statement. Let me not just communicate ideas and inform, and let me to connect. Come on. Even like if I said that even like on a spiritual side, don't let your prayers inform God, let your prayers involve God. Don't let your communication inform people, let it involve people. Come on, where there's a connection, but a sticky statement will stick and it will go back in their minds where you re-engage them. This is on the business element. If I just brought it real quickly, I know we are for time, let me be quick on the intimate level, because I want to ask this question to you. What's it like to be in a relationship with you? That's actually a sticky statement question. What's it like to be in a relationship with you? What do people get when you coach show up? Do people get
not prepared? Do they get inconsistent? Do they get unstable? Do they get they're a taker? What do people get when you show up? We all give an experience. The question everyone asks is it one we want to have again? Is it one I want to have again? When you come in, is it about what you can give or what you can get? Do you evaluate the relationships you're in, both intimate and business, by what have you done for me lately? If you do, you're in problems. Come on, you're in trouble because you're looking at what they're doing for you. Actually, many of you have clients that are no longer working with you, and you can actually re-engagement, and you know they're not even on you're not even on their mind. That's a problem for business owners right now.
Yeah.
They're not even on your mind, out of sight. You need to go back and go, I need to go re-engage with the people that I've done business before, check in and see how they're doing, elicit a response, and show them a new way to take something in their life to a whole nother level, become valuable and visible again. In fact, all communication is being visible. It's being vulnerable. I have a pain point. Notice Shanda did something earlier. She let you into part of her world where she was abused and mishandled. She didn't build a monument around it, but she used it as a pain point to disrupt, because there's a lot of people in there that have been through situations where you'll sit and stew in your pain rather than release it. You sit, settle, nurse, curse, rehearse it.
So
And you broke that. So here's quickly, this will help you in your intimate relationships, and I'll get out of your way here for a minute because I know you have some say. But I want to use this because it'll help every single person. Number one, revisit what brought you together. You can do that in business or intimate. Tell the person, hey, do you remember when we did this together? When we shared this together? When we accomplished this together? What I loved about when we first met.
Write this down. Write it down.
Revisit what you have shared together. Why? Sharing produces synergy. That's the quality of a relationship. The amount of intimacy is based on how much you want to share of yourself. Number two, reassociate. This is what I felt when I was with you. This is what we enjoyed. This is what I experienced with you. And finally, and I'll be quick, reinforce who they are in your eyes. Tell somebody who they are in your eyes, whether it's a client, a customer, a lover, or a child. When you tell somebody who they are in your eyes and you begin to speak those words of life to them, they will rise to the level of your confession. Potential takes shape and form when demands are placed on it. When you tell somebody who they are in your eyes and the value and esteem, they will rise to a new level of connection. You'll build a greater bond and you'll build a greater business relationship, not based on where you've been, but based on where you're going because of what you're communicating now.
So good.
Let your communication pierce, let it cure, let it heal, let it inspire hope, but let it be a bridge where you look to connect, not just to communicate.
So good. So
All right.
good. So, okay. So I have a question for you right now. First and foremost, I'm going to check something. I've not checked this out with Rex right now, but I'm going to pull an audible. How many of you guys would love to go deeper on sticky statements with them? Put an S in the comment section. How many of you guys would love to go? Okay. So people always ask me, what are transitions from content to making an offer, right? How many of you guys struggle with that? Right? Put me if you struggle with, how do you want to go out there, you want to give, you want to teach real estate investing, you want to teach speaking, you want to teach social media, you want to teach how to get connected to your spouse, you want to teach whatever, you want to sell a pen, you want to sell a journal that changed your life, but you're in a situation where you're like, I don't know how to go from the talking to the offer. How many of you guys are stuck in that? Put me. Okay, so people ask me that all the time. When you said sticky statements, that's why I wanted to interject and say, write this down, write this down, write this down. I know you can't write everything down, but you have these moments where you're like, ooh, that one hit me, right? You have that one where you're like, ooh, that one hit me, right? And it's like proximity is everything. I did a pocket coaching yesterday that I sent out to all y'all, and Kim was standing on the corner, and she came up to say hi to me and hang out, and my friend left. She's like, I know how to finish my day. And she left because she took the pocket coaching I sent out. Some of you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but you can use content that's real. I didn't feel like sending a pocket coaching out yesterday. My assistant's like, send a pocket coaching out. And I'm like, oh, I got 1% clients. I'm going to go hang out with all these ballers. I'm like, I just want to be done. I just want to be done. Any of you guys ever feel that way? Now, this is where contribution comes to the next level. Everybody write this down. You must, in 2023, go out and give at a level that whether anybody shows up or not, you have faith that you're making decisions from where you're going, not from where you are. Okay, so that needs to be bigger than what shows up in front of you. So that's one. That's the only way you're going to make it. My friend Real Talk Kim, she's got 1 million followers on Instagram. And I said to her, how'd you do that? Stormy Wellington is going to talk to me about her Instagram. She's got 1 million followers. How do you do that? You know what Stormy said to me? Here's what her text message was the other day. Shand, I'll jump on a phone call and show you how I did it. That's proximity. That's why flipwithrex.com is a very powerful moment, because we don't know all of our people, but you're going to know everybody who jumped into flipwithrex.com. So by the way, if you don't know what that is he's going to spend a lifetime with you with a one-time investment. And I think there's going to be trips to Italy. I think there's going to be incredible moments that are going to come from this group of people that are together. Okay, but hear me when I say this. When I can talk to Stormy Wellington, if you don't know who she is, she's awesome. She's a baller. Anyway, she goes, just in short, you've got to put out 6 to 7 pieces of content just on Instagram alone every day and go live every day. How many of you guys are like, oh my gosh, that sounds like a lot? Be honest, how many of you guys are like, that sounds like a lot? So what if you could flip that and say, I'm not going to make decisions from where I am right now, which is that's a lot, but from where I'm going to go, which is 1 million followers on Instagram, or $1 million a year in the bank profit. Don't just make it, get profit $1 million in the bank, right? Somebody knows how to do it. I know how to make you money. 100%. I can take anybody's product service. That's not a money back guarantee. That's not a money promise. I'm just good at that piece. I don't know what it is. God just gave me that piece. When I look at somebody, I can see your leadership and your strength, and I can see where your gap is just from the way that you talk and hold your body. You guys know that, right? You have an experience with you. But because I'm so hardwired to produce income, I can look at somebody and say, if I tell them to go speak, they're not going to do it. But if I tell them to go build an email list like this, they'll do it. If I tell them to write an email, they'll do it, but they won't maybe go do an Instagram live. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I can tell your shortest path to cash. Well, I can also show you how to transition from content into making an offer. Here's what I know for sure. 100% wherever your destination is, you're going to need help to get there. You get that? 100%. From here to there, you're going to need help because nobody got there by ourselves. Nobody. And what I would like to be is that help for you. That's a transition. What I would like to be is that help for you. So I'm going to recommend that you borrow my network for a lifetime. And that would be to be able to jump into Flip the Switch with Rex, where he can show you how to go from this level to that level. Then there's going to be a whole new set of deserved problems. Problems you deserve because you went to the next level, and you won't know how to flip those. He's going to flip that switch to the next level with you. This is a program that isn't always going to be a one-time access fee forever. This is an opportunity that right now, Rex will work with you once a month in a group, small group. This is going to be a boutique group, right? He's also going to give you access where every month he's going to work with you. Plus on February 20th and 21st, because we changed the date because somebody in the inner circle used their voice. So on February 20th and 21st, he's going to do a virtual intensive and show you how to flip the switch everywhere in your life. It's going to be spiritual. It's going to be business. It's going to be leadership. It's going to be all of that, right? He advises some of the most intellectual and creative minds out there. So if you're an artist, you're a real estate person, I'm going to tell you, Rex is my one friend that everybody wants to sit at the dinner table when he comes. When he came to Puerto Rico to visit us, it was like an alert went out over Puerto Rico, and everybody's like, I'm coming. I'm like, we actually want to just hang out with Rex too. Right? Like, it's like, so I know I edify you, Rex, but the truth is that I come to you. You're the only person currently in my life that I allow speak into my life on that level, both in my personal relationship as well as my business relationship, because you're never going to tell me to grind it out when my relationship has a challenge, or you're never going to tell me to battle against my husband. He's going to tell me what's happening, and I'm going to be able to flip that switch and go to the next level instantly. Do you guys see the value of that? So right now, if you go to flipwithrex.com, just leave it up on the screen. Flipwithrex.com. You can see on that page, there's 2 options. One option is a one-time pay. On that one-time pay, what I will do is I will gift you a marketing one-on-one coaching session. But this is not something I asked you, but I'm going to ask if we can do this. So if you make a decision in the next 30 minutes, Rex did this for a series of my clients a while ago. I'm going to ask him to dive down deep on a day where he can work with you guys on your own sticky statements. See, his are connected to what he speaks about, what he helps people with, right? Like, don't let blind people proofread your message, right? Like, this is connected to what he does. Imagine if he can show you how to create 7, 10, 12 sticky statements with your business or with your relationship even. Like, I know that when I say that when I came to America, I had $500 in my pocket. And that $500 was in an envelope. And I had that hidden in my closet because God forbid anybody ever find it. It was the last $500 I had to my name. Anybody ever been in that place? So I remember sitting on the floor, and this is when my work ethic changed. And maybe this will help some of you guys. Sat on the floor, and I remember thinking, if I could just work, I'm Canadian. I'm American now, but I was Canadian at the time. I was like, if I could just work, I would do anything. Now I work with entrepreneurs like, I don't want to do an Instagram Live or a Facebook Live because nobody shows up. What's the point? My controllers, right? And so I'm battling with that entitlement with love, but that entitlement all the time because you're like, I just need to make money, but this is how you do it. You got to have enough, you got to have enough fortitude to make decisions on where you're going, not from where you are. And so I know that when I say, I sat on that floor going, if I could just work, I could be, these are my exact words, I could be the president of the United States. Now, I don't want that job, especially with everything going on nowadays, but I really believed at that moment that work was a privilege, and I've never let that moment be wasted. Guys, I was so broke, it hurt. Any of you guys can relate to that? I was so broke, it hurt. Anybody ever been there in your life before? Maybe you're there now. So I know when I say those words, if I put an offer right behind that, people will buy that are the right people for flipwithrex.com, right? I know that because it's a sticky statement. And I've spent thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, putting people into big auditoriums and speaking and noticing what happens when I say something. And then you keep saying that because part of being a great influence in the world, for whatever it is, whatever your industry is, whether you're helping single moms or you're helping children or you're helping people buy real estate and get ahead, all you real estate people right now, your company should explode in the next 12 months. It should be so insane. What a great time to get ahead. Now, do you know how to buy real estate, no money down? Do you know how to wholesale property and flip it and create cash injections? Do you know how to find good deals? Or are you working with real estate agents that just are traditional? Get a bank loan. Oh, you don't have good credit? You can't do that. That's a problem because right now there's a great opportunity. So see, I can segue any of these transitions into any offer that I want. So if Rex will teach you sticky statements and I can teach you transitions in your world, how valuable would that be? So if you go to flipwithrex.com, you can join that program. It's a one-time fee and you will have him for a lifetime. Basically, stop trying to get at my dinner table every time I go somewhere when he comes to visit. You can be at his dinner table. You get what I'm saying? In addition, as a bonus today, Rex and I will teach you sticky statements and I will teach you transitions on whatever it is that your movement is. Okay, is that awesome? But you need to go to flipwithrex.com right now. Don't think about it. Don't do any of that. Now, I want to share a quick story that is going out in pocket coaching. I don't know if to this group, but to going to my regular clients. Actually, it's not going to this group. It's going to my regular clients. There's a woman, she may be watching right now, who messaged me and she asked for some support around business. And I really get that she cared and that she was going after it. Now, my advice to her was to meet one of our clients. And I literally thought, I need to hook her up with one of my clients. And so I said my client's name. And so she was like, where's her Instagram page? And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to hook this girl up and I'm going to let her come to our March 1st and 2nd Mastermind San Diego, which Rex will be at, right? Rex will be there praying with people. Rex will be there speaking with people. Rex will be there showing them how to present. Like Rex will be there. And so I said, I'm going to hook this woman up. And I said, here's a $12,000 program that I'll give you an RSVP for, and this is the true story. This happened this morning. And I gave her the link and she said, guess what she said? She said, let me think about it. And for the first time in my life, I retracted an offer. And I said, you know what? I said, I am not doing this woman any favor by letting her come to the mastermind at this point. I said, you know what? I said, I want to share something with you. I would have introduced you to my client who would have been there, who would have sat with you and given you the full strategy. She probably would have even just let her into her program. But I thought, my client's not going to sit with her because there's no proximity of relationship. She just missed a probably 200,000, if not $1 million opportunity that was gifted to her by God through me. I'd never, like, it was just like an impromptu, like I saw the connection of money and wealth. If I put these, I can tell this woman really wants this. I can connect her with my client. It will be an explosion opportunity for her. Let me hook her up. And she's like, I have to think about it. Why? Because she probably had to think, do I really want to leave my children? Or do I got to get on a plane. I got to get a hotel. And I'm like, holy cow, you guys. So I did this pocket coach this morning, going to my clients. I said, I get everybody's on their face saying, I surrender. I totally, whatever you want, I surrender. But guess what? He already delivered. Flipwithrex.com. He already delivered. But see, we're so blind. We're so blind that we miss these opportunities because we still think that that's where I want to go. I'm clear on that, but I'm still making every decision from where I'm at, my little box. And I'm just praying and I'm hoping. And the worst part is we're wasting our life. See, the goals and aspirations in your heart, the thing, like, even if people make you feel guilty about wanting more, they were never given your destiny. You were programmed to be able to become successful because of who you're going to be at that next level. You already know this level. If you're complaining about where you're at right now in any aspect of the imagination, it's time to move. You're too familiar. Rex talks about this all the time with me. He's like, oh, that's a spirit of familiarity. What it does is it steals your power. How do you think I know this stuff? Right? He pours it into me. And I'm sitting there going, oh, there it is. There's that familiar spirit. That's what happens in marriages. You get that familiar spirit. You got to have a vision for going to that next level. If you're not moving, you're complaining. Right? So flipwithrex.com is an opportunity for you to sit at our dinner tables and be able to get the support that you need. I can't talk about the people he's going to bring into this, but he's going to bring in people that I'm telling you, you watch them on TV, right? You go to their concerts, you watch them on the playing fields, on the baseball fields, on the football fields, in the Olympics. You watch them on the news, you watch them, but it's very different when they're not talking on the news and they're talking to this boutique group. This is an opportunity where normally you're learning from somebody who's speaking at you, to you with their wisdom, which is fine. But let me tell you something from a company who made our success metrics on people becoming successful, not on how much money we sell. It is in the power of closing that gap. This is a moment, this is a window where this gap gets closed for you. If you trust your instincts to go do this and go to flipwithrex.com, right? This is a moment that the boutique operation, see, I don't know all my clients in all my programs. Why? Because the program's been open for 10 years. I have thousands of entrepreneurs who come into my programs every single month, like clockwork. Every single month, there's over 1,000 new entrepreneurs who come into Hardcore Business. I want to show you how to do that. Right? But the truth is I don't know all my clients. It's impossible at this point for me to know all my clients. We'll know you in flipwithrex.com because it's going to be a boutique group of people. Everybody who jumps in now, we will gift you an extra workshop that I just kind of created while we're here because it's the right thing to do, is to give more in this moment. Where we're going to show you how to create sticky statements for you, which is connected with more abundance, more impact, more power, right? And then I'll show you how to do transitions inside of your business or whatever your presentations are that you want to do so that you can seamlessly move the group of people that you're committed to standing for in the world to success. If you don't make money this year, you will be out of business. Do you guys get what I'm saying? If you don't, what is I don't know what this, hold on. Somebody's dropping something in the chat, so please stop that. So what I'm trying to say to you is that you need to make money this year, and it needs to happen now. Okay, so I was telling last June, I was telling all of our clients online, make $25,000. If you think you're an analyzer, you want to check my stats, go back on my Hardcore Business Facebook page, look for the month of June. For a whole month of June, I coached people, and then the rest of the year, I pushed them to follow my business strategies to put 25,000 or more in the bank. Why? I said the first and second quarter of this year, I will show you how to multiply your money. You don't get rich by making money in your businesses or making money in your jobs. That's not where you get rich, and you need to get rich. I know it's a dirty word for a lot of people, but you know what's even dirtier is teaching your children to live without. That's dirtier. That is much more dirtier. And so put yourself in a position where you make more, and I'm going to show people how to multiply. So I've already started the multiplication process. Our mastermind coming up on March 1st and 2nd, I'm teaching my clients that. You'll see me teaching it online, not in the same depth because I can't on a Zoom. I need to get you into a room. So here's what I'm also going to pop in here. How many of you guys would love to come to the March 1st and 2nd mastermind? Put me in the comment section. Put me in the comment section. How many of you guys would love to come? Put me in the comment section if you're coming. Okay, so here's what I'd like to do. I don't even know how many more people I can fit in the room. So I'm going out on a limb here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say the next 20 people who go to flipwithrex.com. If you already did it, then I'm going to hook you up. So if you did it yesterday, I got you. Okay. If you're already in Mentor Me Live, you're good. No, you cannot transfer this to someone else because we only have so much room in the room. Okay. So, but if you are new to us, I would like to gift you with the opportunity to come meet me and Rex in a room, yes, in San Diego on March 1st and 2nd, and really work with you around your businesses, your funnels, your ability to simply put this together to create cash. But here's what's wild about this mastermind. I'm also bringing somebody in to show you how to get the money. Right? I'm going to bring somebody in that is coming in that's going to show you how to actually get money, OPM, other people's money. And that's really important because you should not be growing off your own money. You need to learn how to get other people's money and be able to invest it to get the 10x effect. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Yes. So nobody gets rich. Everybody thinks, the middle class thinks if I get a business up and going, I'm going to get rich off that business. The problem is that you don't understand when you hit 1 million, you become less profitable, which means you actually have less money. So there's things you don't know that frustrate you when they sideswipe you, but you need to get rid of the emotional triggers and realize where you go next, there'll be another set of problems. But hear me when I say this, your goal is it will take too long to build a business that creates so much money that you're financially free for most people watching this. So what's the secret? Well, the secret is taking a little bit of money and multiplying it. The best employee on the planet is not the one you hire. It's your money being put into circulation so it makes money for you while you sleep. You get what I'm saying? Yes? Yeah. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw in this bonus the next 20 minutes who jump in. Next 20 minutes, the people who jump in, we're going to invite you to the mastermind. Do not be the person that says, I can't come to the mastermind. I mean, I'm just going, sell the car. That's what I did. Sell the car. You know what I mean? Sell your purse, sell your shoes, do whatever you need to do. I had a woman come to our mastermind who, by the way, ended up making $9,000 a month, who came to the mastermind with her 2 babies. She found somebody to share a room with. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm just saying this is what happened. Because I feed you in the mornings of the mastermind on me, right? The woman had to put food in her purse because she couldn't eat. And she didn't have money for diapers either, which I didn't have at the buffet. But I found this out after because it was 3 or 4 months. I can't remember the exact statistic. This was years ago. But I feel like somebody needs to hear this. she didn't choose her current circumstances. She got herself there with her 2 babies and couldn't afford it, and ended up putting herself in a position where she was making $9,000 a month in just a few months. So that's not an income claim. I'm not saying you'll ever do that. I can't say you'll ever do that or they'll shut me down. And so I have to say you'll probably never do that with me. Unfortunately, you have to say all those things out loud, but I'm saying come see the proof and meet the people. Right? So the next 20 people who jump into flipwithrex.com, come to the mastermind, be our guest. You didn't have to spend the $12,000 to get in the room. Be my guest, and we'll feed you in the mornings, but come meet the people so your mind grows, right? And we do something called easel time, which is every morning before we start, my husband's there, Steven's there, Jonathan will be there, Jean will be there. You don't know these names yet. Jean is notorious for the majority of people in our community that bootstrap their cash within the first year to be able to get free, right? I just need to get you some money so we can invest it and then multiply it. Not invest it in what some crazy YouTuber says online that you don't know, but invest it with people I know in the network, right? Invest it with the proximity. Like-minded people hang out together. Birds of a feather flock together. I'll end on this. A man messaged me and said, Shanda, will you share my GoFundMe page? And I was really honest. I do actually answer my Instagram. People are always surprised. And I said, no, I won't post your GoFundMe. And I said, not because I'm not trying to be nice, but because the people that follow me, that's my word. And I don't know you, right? So I don't know if I didn't say I don't know if you're a scammer or whatever, but like, I can't endorse you. Do you know how many people come to me and say, I can help your client, Shanda? I'm like, great, let's get to know each other, right? I know there's a lot of people who can help my clients. Everybody, by the way, to come speak to my clients, that's a paid spot. I mean, that is actually a business in this world where you spend $20,000 to come on my stage and speak to my people, right? Why? Because that's how the world works. If you don't got any money, you can't get into the game unless you have the right relationships. And then there's a whole back door that happens. And the reason why the rich get richer is because they sit at the same dinner tables. Flip with Rex is an opportunity to sit at our dinner table and for us to know your name now. Come to the mastermind. We'll hook you up with the mastermind. Get to know the other people who are winning. We have a rule inside of our community, which is everybody's helping each other. They're all sitting down. You know, Sarah can help you come up with a book funnel that monetizes. She can show you how to write a book in 3 days. She's helping me. You know, she's a client of ours. Like, this is the nature. Birds of a feather flock together. You hang out with anybody that I hang out with, I'm going to tell you, they're not scumbags. They're just not, because they wouldn't be in my ecosystem of people that I would do work with. All right, you guys, I'm sending you so much love. Here's to you winning. We got one more day. Tomorrow is going to be hot seating day, which means we're going to bring people up. I'm going to send out an email. So look for your emails, and that email is going to have an opportunity for you to email your question and to get an opportunity to be hot seated by us. Even if you're not chosen to be hot seated by us, I want you to understand something. You just know that if you think that you're going to not show up tomorrow, that it's like going to the bathroom when you're in a mastermind. They talked about the thing you needed. Somebody's going to ask your question. And when they ask your question, you want to be in the proximity of the answer. I know you're praying for a miracle, but the miracle's already happened. It's time for you to receive it. All right, you guys, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. California time.